Hello everyone, and today I got to see the film Manchester by the Sea. I got to see it um, with my mom. Don't know why I wanted to see it. I think the reason I chose to see it with her was because she kind of likes these slower burn movies. Like, I don't know. So I saw the film and I wanted to give this movie a chance. I really liked the trailers. So yeah, I went in to see this and um, hearing all the Oscar buzz for a lot of people have been saying it's one of the best films of the year. And after seeing the film, I'm gonna say that I gotta reorganize my best films of the year because this film lives up to the hype it has. How it's a depressing film at that, and the story itself is basically I forgot the main character's name. It's Lee Chandler. His name is Lee Chandler, played by Casey Affleck, and essentially, at a certain point in life, his brother, Joe Chandler, played by Kyle Chandler, who's always great. He suddenly passes away, or at least I think he went into cardiac arrest and he passed on, and he died. And so essentially, Casey Affleck, his character essentially inherits. He doesn't really inherit, but he's somewhat. It's left up to him for him to really take in his son, Patrick, who's played by Lucas Craddock, who's played by Lucas Hedges, essentially, and in the sense needing to deal with the problems and dealing with so much stuff at hand, Casey Affleck's Lee's past, and how it mixes in with the traumatization of losing a brother, and how he deals with all that and how he basically deals with it building up inside of him, and yet you get to see his own traumatic past behind all this, and it's just an all. This is an Icon Beauty Award that was an Oscar film that was trying to really be very majestic and all like that. But what that film did, what Connor Beauty did wrong, is that it made it feel soulless and it made it feel very, very sad, and that film did it very manipulative way and with a lot of bad characters. This film, everything felt very raw, primal, and genuine from a very emotional state of mentality, and how the film progresses and how one could lose this dude, the main character in the film, played by Casey Affleck. It's all about how you deal with that trauma and that loss of your brother. And yet I love how you see it from everyone's perspective. So it's like from the main character's type of perspective, it's losing a brother or losing a dad, losing a son, losing a best friend, and how it connects in so many different directions, and how it really has a mental, not only can it mentally tear people apart, and yet we've always seen movies where it's in real life events where someone's death, kind of very recently Carrie Fisher and her mom are passing away, but it shows, in so many movies we get to see, death happening as it all comes together. In this movie, we get to see that feeling of shell shock, the feeling of where do we go from here, and yet the trauma and the wave of the emotional weight of what's happening, it's just crashing into you. But unlike, let's say, something like Hacksaw Ridge, which I loved, probably just as equally as this film, where that film like a big tidal wave coming on you, this one was kind of like a slow fog coming into your town. It's just you don't know how to take it, but it's very slow, and how it does, and how the film kind of essentially lets the emotional weight hit into you. There's a lot of build up, and the movie is, for all intents and purposes, it's a slow burn movie. It's 2 hours and 15 minutes, and I will say it does feel the weight of that length. However, I feel the length of this film, even though it's a bit overly long for a drama, is still one of the best dramas I've seen in a very long time. And for the record, dramas are not my genre. I would just straight out say that. The only real drama that comes to my mind that I genuinely love is To Kill a Mockingbird. Titanic and a few maybe others, but that's really kind of it. This isn't really my genre, so you're thinking, well, Jack, do you like this movie or not? Well, I love this movie because it kept the emotional kind of weight always centered to the film, and yet it always was staying. It always would go into comedic route at times, and there's a couple funny moments, and then there'd be some emotional moments, and there'd be some really a lot of calming moments, and yet it always keeps a strong narrative focus. It's like imagine kind of like a. Imagine a car on a driveway. Sometimes it will sway, but it always keeps a strong narrative focus on what needs to be at hand here, and it consistently keeps itself in a very strong, sour, dire mood because of the emotional depth that has happened, and yet how all these characters clash together and how he deals with setting up a funeral arrangement and at one point. They talk about Patrick's dad be storage in like a freezer type of storage type of place, and how he says eventually he thinks that's a terrible idea. And it's like, yeah, but he's gone, and there's such a great feeling of realization there, and how it feels so emotionally powerful, and every slow moment counts, every character moment counts. Either it's a scene of Patrick, or I think it was Lee forgetting where his car was, or of somebody just hitting your head on the fridge or on the fridge door or something like that. Those are little nods towards the film if you've seen it. It keeps such a strong focus on where it needs to be, and yet it knows kind of when to take those silly moments, and yet when to be serious, and yet it never loses its identity by doing that. And I loved it because of that. I will say this: do I have any problems with the film? One that just came to me right now is I do think the film is a bit overly long. It's an overly long film, and it's very slow at times. And I mean very slow. This is a 2 hour, like I said before, it's 2 hours and 10 something like minutes. I'm like, does it really need to be that long? But after, I'm like, I don't know if it needs to be or not, but after seeing the movie, it's like, there's some things that didn't really add up, but there are character moments, and there's moments where they need to breathe, and it does it so seamlessly in a way that really, it's a master of its craft, really. Either you think it's a slow burn or not, it's a master of its craft. It's like, no matter what you say about this movie, no matter what anyone says about this movie, it's a fundamentally excellent film with wonderful pace. I won't say wonderful pacing, but a really good structural feel to it, and really great characters with emotional moments that don't feel forced and or discouraged. It feels very much mature in how it deals with characters and how they have certain moments. There's a particular scene in this movie. A police station, and at that moment, I'm not going to spoil it to you, but it almost brought me to tears, and it was a super powerful moment. It was probably the most powerful moment of any movie this year, and there's the history behind Lee, the character of Lee in this movie, is so emotionally bagging and upsetting to watch, and you're just like, oh god damn. And yet I loved the character of Patrick in this movie, his niece. I loved how he wasn't an annoying little prick or a wise ass. He was just a confident, cool kid who had his hobbies and wanted to be with friends, and his girlfriend, or if you've seen the movie, his girlfriends, because he has more than one, which makes me question the kid to a degree, but I'm like, maybe that's the film's overall secret there. I don't know. But as a whole, it's such an incredible film. I will say, it does feel a bit overly long, and there's a lot of slow moments. But I feel like that's kind of necessary, but then again, I'm like, it's so necessary, and yet it's unnecessary. It's like, to let characters breathe in such a well-done way. And it's just an incredible piece of film. And Michelle Williams, along with Kyle Chandler and Casey Affleck, all give fantastic performances. Casey Affleck, holy shit. This may be the best performance of his I've ever seen. It's something probably to rival the best work of Ben Affleck, his brother's best performance. It's an exceptional piece of art. I love how quiet and nuanced it was. Like, watching the film, I feel like he may have gotten some cues from Ryan Gosling in Drive. The quiet, stern person who could just break at any moment. And God, it's like you really are trying to step. You're not really trying to step on eggshells around this guy. It's like he can snap at any moment. He's just an emotionally unstable person. But overall, like, Manchester by the Sea is a genuine masterpiece within its own work. Is it perfect? Like I said before, it's a little bit slow at times, and it's like I kind of do, and it's slow in the length. I don't think it needs to be this long. I think they could have cut it at least a good 5 to 10 minutes out of this movie, but aside from that, it's one of the best of the year. It really is, and I'm happy to say this is, unlike Star Wars where I said that was my last review of the year, this is my last review of the year. Again, like, I want to see the movie Silence in the future, and maybe it'll make my list or not, but as of right now, this itself is my last review of 2016. Tomorrow, you will get my review, my top 10 movies of the year, which I can very much guarantee this one will be on, because it's an exceptional piece of art. I just don't know where this movie will land, but in the end, Manchester by the Sea is an exceptional film. I'm gonna give it a 91%. It's incredibly well done. I do think it's a bit overly long and a little bit drawn out, but it's still so goddamn good that I would absolutely recommend anyone to see this. Which now this is not the film's fault, but when I saw this movie, there's about 15 people in the theater. 15, and I was me and my mom were among that 15. There should have been at least 50 or more people. Like, come on. If you haven't seen this film, I goddamn urge you to see it. I challenge you to see this movie and not cry. Okay, well, I didn't cry, but I was pretty damn close myself. But, yeah, in the end, this is my review of Manchester by the Sea. I really do hope you enjoy it. And I'll see you in the future for more videos. As always, till then, everyone, thank you very much. And I'll see you in the future for more. I will see you guys tomorrow with my favorite films of the year. So, yeah, till then, everyone, thank you very much for watching. And, yeah, goodbye.